All right, raise your hand if you remember buying your first car. Do you remember buying your first car? Because I do. This is at the age of 17. Exactly. I remember walking in to that dealership with my mom and dad, grabbing that glass door with the big handle and pulling it open and walking through the doors into that showroom. And a gentleman walking up to me asking what he could do to help us. And I looked back at mom and dad and smiled, and I looked back at him and said, "I'm here to buy my first car." And his smile got bigger. And he asked me some questions like car, truck, 2-door, 4-door. "What are you really looking for, Brad?" And I told him I wanted a fast car. I wanted a car. And then he went on to ask me some more questions. 5-speed, automatic, what kind of car? And after a series of questions, he looked at me and said, "Brad, I have the exact car for you. Come with me." We opened up the door, we went out to the used car lot, and we walked up to a 1989 Beretta GT. It was black, red pinstripes, and we walked around that car and we looked at the moon roof as I was exploring getting in this car. And he handed me the keys. And he said, "Let's take it for a ride." And I remember mom and dad getting in the back seat, he in the passenger seat, and I sat in that driver's seat and I grabbed those keys, put it in the ignition. I remember turning that car on and what that felt like. We started the car, rolled down the windows, popped the clutch, and pulled out on the road. And what do you think I did? Of course, I bought that car. This is my high school sweetheart. Trudy is actually here today. While driving down the road, he made the comment to me, "Imagine going to prom in this car, Brad. Imagine pulling into the high school parking lot in this car, Brad." Why did I buy this car? Because he made me part of the process. He asked me a series of questions that brought me to the purchase of that car. That's exactly what we've done with 4 Days Coming, Plan on Purpose. 4 days coming in the future, plan on purpose. Imagine sitting down with your client on Monday and helping them pick an avatar for their future, something they're looking forward to. And then a conversation below about their future. You see, I've learned from financial advisors, a lot of times we ask questions that we already know the answers to. Make your clients part of that process. What's important to them 12 months from now? Doesn't matter if the market's up or down. And then page 2, the only other page you will use, this is simple and elegant and easy to use. On page 2, we have a lifetime plan score. This is a lifetime plan score from 0 to 100 that allows you to continue to keep track and make your clients part of the process. What's the story around long-term care and family meetings and wills and beneficiary reviews? And as you mark it completed, that lifetime plan score continues to grow. About a year ago, I had one of my best clients call for a meeting. Their lifetime plan score was 95. They've been clients for a long time. And what we did is we sat down with their daughter, Carolyn. Carolyn worked at Ernst & Young, happened to be in town, college educated. She knew what finances were. They came in at 1 o'clock on a Monday afternoon, and we sat down and we went through mom and dad's avatar, and we smiled and kind of joked about that. We updated what was most important to mom and dad the next 12 months. And then we went into the gap section, page 2. And I made Carolyn part of the process as we clicked the family meeting as completed and time date stamped it. About 45 minutes later, I came back to Carolyn. I said, "Carolyn, do you have any questions?" And she looked away from me and looked at mom and dad. And she said, "Mom and Dad, I love what Brad's doing for you." Guys, that's the second generation. There's no doubt Carolyn's going to become my client someday, maybe even before mom and dad die. Recently, I got a call from a young advisor, 2 years in the business using this tool. And he was so excited. He's just had closed a $1.2 million and a $600,000 rollover using FDC. And I asked him how. And he said, "Brad, the prospects were on Zoom. And I brought up FDC and I showed them the process that I was going to take them through if they became my client. And they called me back later and said, 'Sign me up.'" He was ecstatic. Also had an advisor that's been in the business for a long time, just like I have been, telling me, Brad, I'm having some of the best client review meetings I've ever had, because he's making his clients part of that process, just like that car dealer did to me that day. You too can have the same exact meetings as these advisors are already having. I want to offer to you the first 10 people that stop by the booth and sign up, I'll spend 30 minutes of my time helping you prepare for your next meetings, using the tools, and have the best meetings of your life. Thank you.